Mental health. It's a crazy thing, I guess. Okay, so this video is kind of unscripted, so expect a lot of not good pacing. But I feel like it's something that needs to be talked about to some capacity of some sort. Especially if you're growing up or you're going to the real world and stuff. It's always just a little scary, you know? Everyone goes through hard times, whether you're living a good life or a bad life, or troubling life, an easy life, or whatever you may freaking call it, or whatever your situation is. People get sad. And to the people who don't get sad, it's because they have psychopathy. But that's another mental problem, I guess. But okay, we're just talking about just regular mental problems, just like dang. But anyways, today we're gonna talk about depression. Yay! But more specifically, how to appreciate the little things, I guess, or the lack of, like, okay, so whenever I give advice, I always say to, like, hey, life may suck now, but no reason to jump off a cliff. There's always still like things to appreciate, still things to love, still things to care about, and it's just things like that, or things to look forward to, like a movie you really want to see or that's been announced, or a song, an album, a toy, plushie, I don't know, stuff like that. You just gotta appreciate the little things. Sometimes you just gotta like focus your eyes on not the problem, but on just things that in the long run maybe don't matter, but when you look at them, you realize that the world isn't all bad. The world isn't like, it's not the most depressing place you could possibly be at. For example, a leaf. You don't like, this happens a lot whenever I guess people are depressed or when I'm depressed. Sometimes you'll just like pick up a freaking leaf and just look at it and then kind of maybe like take it apart, and there's something almost therapeutic or something kind of like numbing to it, to where you just kind of like become a little bit more microscopic in the brain, and you don't think about the other things that are troubling you, or maybe you just can't think about anything that's troubling you and stuff like that. What if you can't see that? What if there's like just the big thing that you're sad about is just too overbearing for you to even notice all the good crap that's around you? And recently I've kind of gotten to that point, and to be honest, dude, this is kind of like a podcast. Ooh, interesting. Anyways, let's say you got a routine down. A lot of times when you got a routine down and stuff like that, people say, that's good. You got a routine down, you got everything set. Life should be easy. Life should be good. Something like that. Something along those lines. Again, this is unscripted, so I'm not going to get my full point across. And, I feel like I've gotten to that point and stuff, but there's something missing, I know what that is. I know what it is. But let's go into a hypothetical. Maybe you're missing something. An object, a toy, someone, a video game, a memento, or it's like you're going on a road trip or something. And whenever you're in the car, you realize you'd forgotten something that like you can't go without. And you're already on your way. You're already like moving and grooving and whatnot. And so now you're just like, oh, okay, well, it's fine if I don't have it, but damn, kind of wish I did. It's kind of a bummer that I don't. And then that little small little thing may grow, especially if everything around you gets more repetitive, gets more routine. So yeah, I built up a routine, but now that gives me time to think about the thing I left behind, or the thing that I forgot, thing that left me, the thing that's just not with me anymore. And you're kind of just left with this gloomy feeling. And people ask you, like, you okay? You know, you don't seem the best. And it gets to this point where you really have to ask yourself, is the face you have on right now your regular face, or are you actually just sad? You know, are you actually like depressed? Because like, okay, with me, I have like a natural frown. I depending on the way my eyebrows decide to rest on my head that day, I might look really pissed, really happy. Not really happy, no. I might look high, or I might look really sad. That's like a big thing. Sometimes, like, a lot of people ask me if I'm sad or something. And, you know, sometimes I do feel really gloomy or something. I feel like my face gets more exaggerated, I guess. Because, you know, I actually am sad. But that's when you have to ask yourself, is this just my face? Or, because, like, right now I'm chilling, but there is that one thing that's kind of gone. Am I really sad? You know? But anyways, I feel like there's more to it, and there's more that there's to be said, but I feel like I'll leave it off right here. It's kind of like a question I wanted to ask or something, I guess. There is a kind of a question I kind of want to dive into for like a minute or so. What do you do when you're sad? Now, that might be like a stupid ass freaking question, but it's kind of a question that like is on my mind, because everyone does something different when they're sad. Do you cry? Do you drink? Do you smoke? Do you lay down? Do you close your eyes and hope that when you open them, there'll be everything around you would just be a little bit better or something? What do you do? So I guess that's another thing to think about. But yeah, mental health is a crazy son of a gun. It'll come at you, and it's like that guy at the party that you don't want to be there, but they're there, you know. and they get closer and closer, like they're just sneaking up on you, and then you think you're in the clear, and then they pull up behind you or something like that, whispering in your life, what you doing, you know? Yeah, what you up to? Where my hug at? Anyways, but yeah, there's just a whole lot of things to think about, and I'll probably come up with this might be just a series, I guess, but yeah, whole lot of things to think about, you know. But yeah, anyways, signing out. Bye bye. Oh yeah, by the way, if you watched to the very end of this video, thank you. I don't even know how you managed to tolerate my voice. But anyways, if you need someone to talk to, go talk. And or let's say you live in Texas or somewhere where you can't have your phone out or something like that, but you need to like text someone, and you're at school. This is like a school thing. Remember, I'm pretty sure Instagram is still, you can still access Instagram through your laptop, through your school laptop. So just remember that. But don't get caught. No. And don't tell them I told you that. But anyways, oh yeah, by the way, I make music. You should totally listen. I have 2 singles out right now that are for a future project called A Liar Named Nostalgia. You should really check it out, or you should really check them out. And maybe I'll post a snippet whenever I'm done talking. But yeah, that's all I had to say, I guess. But yeah, actually now, bye bye.